Greetings and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, today's video is gonna be a little late. Like I said, this past weekend, um, just finished up and everything. Just got home from all that. I'm a little rough, but I'm okay. I actually have my Kindle here today. For a specific person. Hold on. I'm actually gonna be talking about animated uh, like cartoon voice actors that kind of helped me um they kind of inspired me to kind of do voices, as well as just like was prevalent all throughout my childhood. And I know quite a few of yours, if you're anywhere near my age or even today, some of them still work. We'll start with one that I know most of you will know, but he's not. He's most of his career is live action, mind you, but one of his most prominent roles was the genie. I am of course talking about Robin Williams. Guy was a comedic genius. And he was probably one of my favorites, along with Walt Disney and the man of a thousand voices himself, Mel Blanc. These guys were the big wigs that really helped cement me. And you may have heard of these other two, or you may have heard of Mel Blanc. You might have heard of him. Walt Disney, you've heard of him. Robin Williams, at this point, you've heard of him. But these guys, with Genie and Batty from Ferngully, and then uh, Walt Disney he actually provided the original voice for Mickey Mouse, so that's where that comes from. That high pitched squeaky voice, you know. And then of course, um, the man of a thousand voices, Mel Blanc did. If he didn't voice them, he was the inspiration behind a specific character like Granny or Tweety and all that. He did these characters, and if he wasn't the voice of these characters, he helped make these characters' voices. Which is super cool, super cool. A more recent person, however, Richard Stephen Horvitz. You know him better, however. You may not know this name, but you know him better as Zim from Invader Zim, Billy from Billy and Mandy, Daggett from the Angry Beavers, and of course, the villain himself, Chaos from Skylanders. This guy has a voice that just has a range. He can be soft spoken, but then just like completely go, what? You know, his most recent role that he's been doing lately has been Moxie on Hello Boss, which growing up, hearing Billy, Zim, Daggett, Chaos curse in the pilot episode alone was hilarious to me. It was funny as I'll get out. um, but my first three people that I remember knowing their voice work, I being able to spot them off not. Tom Kenny, his biggest role was SpongeBob, but he's also done characters like Heifer from Rocko's Modern Life, the Ice King from Adventure Time. He's done all sorts of characters, and he's super cool. Um, he's definitely been one of my biggest influences, just like being this guy that has such a broad range and brings so much to the table that between him and Robin Williams, these guys were the ones that inspired me to actually learn how to do voices. The same goes for Rob Paulson. A little bit later, I remember seeing a video of him giving like pointers. I taken it to heart a little bit. But then the other one being Tara Strong. She was a big part of my life between Bubbles, Raven, and what was another one? Timmy Turner and young Ben Tennyson was just these guys were part of my these two were part of my childhood for the most part. But another one that you may have heard of, but you may not always know he's there. Frank Welker. Now, he's most notable for playing Fred Jones, and Scooby-Doo in Scooby-Doo. But he's done a lot of animal voices like Abu and all that. He's done these weird voices for characters that actually don't really have a voice at all. And it's funny because one of the first things that I remember doing, like mimicking, wasn't voices. It was sounds. It was animals. It was like my very first sound that I remember doing was a bullfrog. Was a frog because that was I love the scene from Aristocats with the frog laugh, and I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. It sounded like he was laughing. It was funny. Um, and it just went spiraling from there when I actually heard like different voices do different do ranges with Tara Strong and especially Tom Kenny. Just knowing that Tom Kenny did all these different voices and just a range to them. But of course, I cannot talk about voice work without mentioning Mark Hamill. You know him better as Luke Skywalker for the most part, but I know him even more as the Joker. This guy's been playing this character for 20 odd years. He's also played Skips in a regular show. One of the firebender bad guys from um, uh, Avatar. Can't remember which one, but yeah, he's played some range. He's got some range to him. He doesn't always play a good guy. Every now and again, he'll play a villain, and he's his most iconic hero role is Luke Skywalker. Probably the most good of the good, for the most part, in most iterations. He's had his moments where even in the original trilogy, I was like, huh, what are you doing? But then he can play the absolute worst villain, the one of the biggest baddies in DC, not just DC actually, in Batman's Rogues Gallery alone. Just this character, this this voice, this he's got such a broad range. He's done so many good voice work. I think he's even played himself and Luke Skywalker on Robot Chicken before. So again, super cool. Um, Besides all those, Matthew Lillard, who voiced Shaggy for the longest time, I think he still voices the character to this day. He's like the most recent, he's like the most current one, but he's definitely one of my favorites. I know these technically aren't voice actors, but they definitely did different range of voices. Jim Henson and Frank Oz, the guys from the Muppets. You know, they've done. Frank Oz does Fozzie Bear, but he also does Miss Piggy, and then he'll turn right around and do Animal. These are different voices, guys. These are different characters, and you don't see them, so you don't see them. Jim Henson had Kermit, but he also had I think it was Statler that he did. No, he did Wardorf. Can never tell these two apart half the time. It takes me a second. But, he also has done, Rolf the Dog and the Swedish Chef. He's got these weird voices, you know, he's got these weird range. And that's what I love in a voice actor, when they're able to, you know he or she is a good voice actor, when they're able to do, like, a good example is Tara Strong, Raven, sullen, very down, you know, but can be happy when she wants to be. Very monotone. It keeps her emotions in check a lot of times. Then she'll turn right around, and around the same time actually, she was doing Ben Tennyson, young Ben Tennyson from Ben 10, and this kid is excited and really upbeat and just like all and just slams all the tricks. It's hero time. It just goes on the attack, you know, super cool. But then she'll turn right around again and play Timmy Turner. Just broad range of this character. It's super cool to see this. And then she'll turn around again, do Bubbles, and just this bubbly personality. Just Bubbles and Raven are complete contrast. It's like comparing apples and oranges with these two characters, but they're played by the same voice actor at the time. So it's super cool to see that. And it's not just voice actors. Some of these voice actors that I mentioned also play their respective characters in tie-in game, video game media, and Or they'll even lend their voices to movies. Hell, they'll do incidental voices if they really wanted to. That's why I love voice acting. That's why I love these guys. The best part about them is that they could come in, no, their hair not brushed, their clothes unkempt, in their pajamas no less, hat and shade. All you gotta do is make sure you got your coffee and you woke up so you can do a voice job. That's it. You really just gotta worry about your voice. You know, this little piece is an instrument. It's a tool. Use it. You know. But yeah, it's why I love why I love the voice actors, because if you can match up a good voice actor to the right character, that character no longer is a 2D or 3D model. That's no longer just a fictional piece of media. That's a person or an animal. That's a character that you could believe is there. It's why I don't like flat voice acting. It's why I really don't. A good example of this is Justin Timberlake in Trolls. I hate to say it, guys, this is a bit of a hot take, but rewatching Shrek the Third, y'all rip on him then, but he's not much better now. Not by a long shot. The dude cannot act to save his life. He really can't. He comes off as wooden. At least with King Arthur, he at least gave a little bit of emotion, even if it was fake. For the fake sob story scene, it was funny. I can at least relate to Arthur. Branch. Okay, I'm a bit of a loner. I don't really care. I'm a bit of a pessimist and a bit of a, you know, hey, things are gonna happen, you know. But at the same time, I cannot relate to this guy at all. And it's not just because of the dead grandmother thing. No. It's because this character is not likable. He's really not. I can't stand Trolls anyway, but that's beside the point. You can't when you cannot act that character, it starts falling away. Look at Billy Crystal and John Goodman. You can tell they got chemistry when they're doing Mike and Sully. Another good example of his excellent chemistry and excellent voice acting roles. Tom Hanks and what was his name? Was like Tim Allen. These guys did an awesome job voicing these characters, and then they'll talk to each other, and it's just like you can feel the chemistry on top of the great voice acting. See, that's what I love to see. Good voices for good characters. It's why I don't mind characters from like the Indians from Peter Pan or the John Cruise from Dumbo. I really don't. Because these characters are characters that stand out a little bit, you know? So, that's why I'm doing this video. This will be up tomorrow. There's actually going to be another video that we'll do today as well. But I want to do this, you know, because it's in my head. I want to get it out. The voice acting is a big part of me. I really like voice acting. And I would love to do it, but who has the time, you know? But with that being said, guys, be sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. And I'm sorry for the delay on the videos today. You know, that I'm recording. I'm gonna do a couple videos so that way I don't have to deal with it tomorrow. This one will be up tomorrow, or today, as you can. I know it's confusing, but a couple days mixed up. With that being said, guys, I will see you guys soon. Bye.